Harper Business and HarperAudio present The Family First Entrepreneur: How to Achieve Financial Freedom Without Sacrificing What Matters Most, by Steve Chou. This is the author. A note before we begin. Don't forget to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider or go directly to www.harpercollins.com/pages/The Family First Entrepreneur. It contains a quiz to help you determine if going full-time as an entrepreneur is for you. To my mom and dad, for challenging me to be the best. To my son and daughter, for motivating me to be a better father. And to my loving wife, Jen, for being my rock and foundation. Introduction. My wife quit her job. "I don't want to do this anymore," my wife screamed in frustration as she slumped to the floor, utterly defeated and surrounded by a pile of unfulfilled orders. Jen and I had been running our business for 3 years now, and by all accounts, it was a huge success. We'd met all of our monetary goals in just a few short years. We'd replaced my wife's income so that she could stay at home with the kids. Our brand had appeared on national television, and our business was extremely profitable. But that night, we hit a breaking point. We had gotten into this mess because we'd lost sight of our vision. Or rather, I had. I had confused true success with growth and dollar signs, and our whole family was suffering because of it. When I saw the tears and anguish in my wife's eyes that night, it all became clear. Something had to change. My wife cries a lot. I mean, not just when she's upset, but when she's happy too. So when I asked her to marry me several years before that critical moment, we both knew that she'd be crying at the altar. Now, to be fair, if I knew that I was going to spend the rest of my life with me, I'd be bawling too. Since we'd already paid an ungodly amount of money for a photographer, we didn't want all of our wedding photos to be of my bride carrying around a fistful of crumpled up tissues. That would have ruined the whole happiest day of your life look we were going for. Her crying was inevitable. We just wanted something a little classier than a Kleenex. Thus, the search for the perfect wedding hanky began. We wanted one hanky for each person in our wedding party, as well as extras for family members. All we could track down, though, was a cheap set of overpriced pieces of polyester from a local bridal store for $15. We decided to get creative and find our own online, but a web search basically revealed nothing. Keep in mind that this was 2003, so search engines were not what they are now, and the internet was still a fairly new place to buy and sell things. We didn't give up, though. After some digging, we came across a factory in China that offered much higher quality products than what we could find in the US, but the minimum order was 200 hankies. We couldn't find any other option, so we ordered all 200, paying 15 cents a piece. The shipping ended up costing more than the actual product. We only used about a dozen in the wedding, leaving us with 188 extras. Around the same time, I was selling used electronics on eBay to make extra money. It wasn't a full-fledged business, just a side hustle. Still, it gave me an opportunity to learn about business and entrepreneurship, something I'd always been interested in, but never felt confident enough to pursue full-time. What I would do is go on Craigslist, find people trying to get rid of their old computer systems, and buy them. Then, I'd disassemble them and sell the parts on eBay. It was my own form of arbitrage, and if it worked for electronics, maybe it could work for other products too. Looking at the boxes of handkerchiefs, I thought, I don't know if these are going to sell, but I might as well try. Within a few days, we sold out. We didn't think much about it at the time, returning to our busy lives and demanding jobs, beginning our life as newlyweds, but this first real foray into business would all come back to haunt us. Birth of a business. A few years later, Jen became pregnant with our first child and wanted to stay home to focus on being a mom. At the time, she earned a 6-figure salary, and I was working as an engineer in the ridiculously high-priced Bay Area of California, so we couldn't afford for either of us to just quit. We figured the best solution to making some extra money was to start a business, so we started brainstorming. The first concept we explored was a meal prep service called Dream Dinners, where customers come to your storefront and prepare meals for their families.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?